Lights flash, cameras clicking quick. Showtime, super gringo slick. Headlines buzzing like a mix. 20 seconds, that's the fix. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shorts, that's where we part. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shorts, that's where we part.
Well, during oral arguments before the Supreme Court, where apparently we had to decide whether or not parents had the authority to opt their child out of sexually explicit education as young as 3, Supreme Court Justice KBJ decided that, well, gosh, if parents don't like it, they can just leave the school system and homeschool. Their money, of course, will have to stay with the school that is attempting to indoctrinate their children because, left-wing indoctrination doesn't pay for itself.
Now, who keeps electing these idiots to school boards? That's my question. And if you ever wonder why they're shooting up schools now, there you got it. We have the most drugged up, mentally ill generation in history. Seroquel is making Seroquel is a booming business. By the way, Seroquel is a mood-enhancing drug. Now, every time I'm talking to a leftist and I bring up the fact that they're probably on Seroquel, not one of them denies it. So, just something to think about. I'm not going to show Hawk's video that over 40, that 40 plus lesbian who's hit the wall, but they were babbling about a military takeover or something, and they would whatever. There is no military takeover. If there was, there's nothing really you're going to do about it. Other veterans could. Let me explain something about most gun owners. They don't know shit. I've written books on it, but I have 23 years military experience. Attended schools, been to combat, done all the stuff, and even I don't know what I would do if I were facing an American. I mean, I've been to combat against other countries, people that I don't know and don't care about, but Americans, who knows? But what would our military do? Nobody knows. Loony leftists keep screwing around. They may find out. Just to show you how stupid these people are, and I'm not going to show you the picture, but it has a KKK member, a stormtrooper helmet, a Confederate cap, a Nazi officer cap, another stormtrooper hat, mask, and a Make America Great Again hat. These idiots do realize that the KKK were started by Democrats. The stormtrooper is fictional. The Confederates were all Democrats. The Nazis were socialists, and nobody wearing a red hat is setting fire to Teslas and shooting up Tesla dealerships. So, brown shirt, can you say I don't know history and I'm an idiot? without saying you're an idiot? Well, that's how. Just hold that sign. I'm going to read you something I wrote a while ago, okay? At the time of Ulysses S. Grant's election to the presidency, white supremacists were conducting a reign of terror throughout the South. This period was marked by widespread violence and intimidation aimed at suppressing the rights and political power of African Americans and their allies. You do realize that Ulysses S. Grant was a Republican, right? In outright defiance of the Republican-led federal government, Southern Democrats formed organizations that violently intimidated blacks and Republicans who tried to win political power. These groups not only sought to undermine the political advancement made during Reconstruction, but also aimed to instill fear in any individual who dared to support equality and civil rights. The most prominent of these organizations, the Ku Klux Klan, was formed in Pulaski, Tennessee in 1865. Originally founded as a social club for former Confederate soldiers, the Klan quickly evolved into a terrorist organization that employed brutal tactics to achieve its goals. It would be responsible for thousands of deaths, along with countless acts of violence that would help to weaken the political power of the Southern blacks and Republicans. The Klan's transformation from a seemingly innocuous social group into a violent entity exemplified the lengths to which some white Southerners would go to maintain white supremacy in a post-Civil War society. Racist activity in the South often took the form of riots and targeted blacks and Republicans, reflecting a broader societal breakdown. In 1866, a quarrel between whites and black ex-soldiers erupted in a full-fledged riot in Memphis, Tennessee. White policemen assisted the mobs in their violent rampage through the black sections of town, demonstrating complicity among local authorities. By the time the violence ended, 46 people were dead, 70 more were wounded, and numerous churches and schools had been burned. Just 2 months later, on July 30th, a similar outbreak of violence erupted in New Orleans. This time, a white mob attacked the attendees of a black suffrage convention, killing 37 blacks and 3 whites who allied with them. Such incidents highlighted not only the brutal reality faced by African Americans, but also the systemic failures of law enforcement to protect them. In this violent atmosphere, the Ku Klux Klan grew in size and strength, capitalizing on fear and chaos to further its agenda. In 1868, the Klan had evolved into a hooded terrorist organization that its members called the Invisible Empire of the South. The reorganized Klan's first leader, or Grand Wizard, was Nathan Bedford Forrest, who had been a Confederate general during the Civil War. His leadership symbolized the Klan's commitment to perpetuating an ideology rooted in racial hatred and domination. White Southerners from all classes of society joined the Klan's ranks, attracted by its promise of restoring a perceived social order. In the name of preserving law and order in the white-dominated society, Klansmen punished newly freed blacks for various offenses, real or imagined, including behaving in an imprudent manner towards whites. They whipped teachers of freedmen's schools and burned their schoolhouse as part of their campaign to eradicate educational opportunities for African Americans. But first and foremost, the Klan sought to do away with Republican influence in the South by terrorizing and murdering its party leaders and all those who voted for it. The strategy was designed not only to intimidate, but also to dismantle any semblance of political power held by blacks or their allies. In the time leading up to the 1868 presidential election, tensions escalated dramatically as the Klan's activities picked up in speed and brutality. The election was crucial. It pitted Republican Ulysses S. Grant against Democrat Horatio Seymour at a time when Republican policies were seen as essential for safeguarding black rights and maintaining federal oversight in southern states. Klan members understood that given the chance, blacks in their communities would vote overwhelmingly for Grant and his party. Across the South, the Klan and other terrorist groups used brutal violence as a means of intimidation against Republican voters. In Arkansas alone, over 2,000 murders were committed in connection with the pivotal election cycle. In Georgia, reports indicated that threats and beatings were even higher than those recorded in Arkansas. Meanwhile, Louisiana witnessed horrific violence as approximately 1,000 blacks were killed as Election Day approached. The culmination of these acts of terror resulted in a decisive victories for Democrats at the polls, victories achieved through fear rather than democratic principles. Nevertheless, the Klan's violence actions proved counterproductive for many Northerners who began to see that the South had not learned its lesson from the recent war. This realization led to growing calls for more stringent measures against such violence. Consequently, harsher laws were soon enacted with an aim to protect Southern blacks from further oppression. In the 1868 presidential election, Republican Ulysses S. Grant won office with his compelling slogan, "Let us have peace." This message resonated deeply with those who sought stability after years of conflict and chaos. Republicans also secured a majority in Congress during this election cycle. Many Northerners disgusted by Klan violence lent their support to significant legislative measures like the 15th Amendment, which granted voting rights to black men across all states. Additionally, they supported the first Reconstruction Act of 1867 that imposed stricter regulations on southern states regarding their new governments. Other legislation directly targeted Klan activities with increasing severity. Between 1870 and 1871, Congress passed several enforcement acts designed specifically to curb voter intimidation by making it illegal to interfere with registration processes or voting rights for blacks. More than 5,000 individuals were indicted under these laws. However, only about 1,000 secured convictions due largely to local resistance and corruption. In 1871, Congress also passed the Ku Klux Klan Act, which allowed federal authorities to take action against terrorist organizations operating within its borders. While Grant did not rigorously enforce these laws, partly due to political pressures, he did order hundreds of arrests among Klan members as part of his administration's efforts against racial terrorism. However, with overwhelming support for the Klan among many Southern whites and ongoing societal unrest complicating legal proceedings, securing convictions remained challenging. The financial panic of 1873 further distracted Northern attention from issues related to Southern racism and violence against blacks, ultimately leading to diminished federal enforcement efforts over time, allowing groups like the Klan to persist unchecked for longer than intended. In 1882, a significant setback occurred when the United States Supreme Court declared parts of the Ku Klux Klan Act unconstitutional, a ruling that would embolden white supremacist groups while simultaneously undermining federal efforts aimed at protecting civil rights during Reconstruction's critical years. Yeah, I wanted to show you my new karate training system here. It's kind of cool. I haven't broke up by...
Mais limite no cartão de crédito para curtir a folia? Vem que eu te conto.
90 days, which is usually what I do for a colored belt. There's week 1 through 4, weeks, I don't know if you see it, 5 through 8, and weeks 9 through 12. He goes neck, joint rotations, warm-ups, stretches, and then techniques. And then you put them in there with the number of sets, the time, and, like, start it. I'll start this one. There we go. See, I got it started. And I'll do this for 4 weeks, and then I'll do the next step for 4 weeks, which is more advanced techniques, kicking and so on and so forth. And then the last is the advanced techniques. Just give you an idea what it sounds like. I think after this I'll show you how to find my books on Google Play. Then it goes to the next exercise. Alright. First I'll show you how to find my books on Kindle. First you have to download the Kindle app, which is free from Google Play, of all the places I got it. And you type in my name. It says right up here on top. I don't know if you can see that very well. You type in my name. It's already there, and all my books will come up. Then you can get them from Google Play. Go over to Google Play. Play Store. My phone's all busted up, so it takes a minute. Click books. You can get ebooks or audiobooks. I like audiobooks. You again type in my name, which is already there, and you'll see all my books come up on Google Play. Find one that, oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Audiobook.
What is executive protection? Executive protection, EP, is a specialized security service designed to safeguard individuals whose stature, status, or vocation places them at an increased risk of threatening situations.
So for like $7.50, you can find out about executive protection. I've got, go back, essays on C.S. Lewis. If you've ever seen The Adventures of Narnia, he wrote it. By the way, those films are actually Christian films. History of American civil rights and how the left hijacked it. Consent of the government, governed, about the Federalist Papers. Tactical training with firearms. Institutionalizing division. Executive protection. Rise and fall of the Roman Republic. That was a good class. I took that at college. Understanding Capitalism, another one I took in college. The Bloodstained Banner, the failure of socialism. The evolution of American foreign policy. The Second Battle of Ramadi, that was the battle I was in. Dismantling the Republic, the role of progressive elites. Self-defense for everyday people. From Jobs to Justice, the Trump era explained, that would be his first term. The American Left, from liberalism to despotism. The Intellectual Journey, unraveling the mysteries of socialism. Warrior's Path, the epic journey of modern karate. Teaching karate online. Political history of Brazil. From colonialism to democracy. História político do Brasil. Colonialismo a democracia. Yes, I try to do them both in English and Portuguese. Let's see. Let's see what else we got in here. So yes, you can get it on either Kindle or Google Play, Google Books, in audio or ebook. I've gotten away from publishing paperbacks because they won't ship to Brazil. So what's the sense? Also, everybody has a cell phone now, and you can get it on a cell phone. And I do audiobooks because thanks to the Department of Education, 1 in 4 people who graduated high school cannot read above a 6th grade level. So yeah, so I do audiobooks, so you know, they can listen, or if you're driving to work or whatever, you can listen to it, you know. But for $7.50, my karate is $8 because, you know. But for $7.50, yeah, you might learn something. Happy, I think it's Friday morning. I was just watching YouTube, watching a bunch of loony leftists losing their shit because they're going to have to pay back their student loans. Bad news for you folks. We didn't take the loan out for a gender studies degree. That's on you. You could have gotten a degree in, let's say, I don't know, engineering, maybe just a from a trade school, and you know, you could fix my air conditioner, which would have gotten you paid quite a bit of money, by the way. So you're cry me a fucking river and send me the check. That's taxpayer money, by the way. What is the first person singular form of tomar in the simple past tense? Eles. Oh, you. Simple past tense. Tomé. You tomé. Cool. How do you conjugate serrar for the first person plural? Nós serramos. Nós serramos. What is the third person singular ele, ela, você, a gente form? of Sarad in the simple past tense. Sará, ele, ela, você, a gente. Simple past tense. So it's será, será, será. Okay. Like I said, I learn 10 new every day. Eva, não mais quero fazer. Olhar tem uma academia aqui na esquina, but I want to do and look for an academy on the corner. Look at the academy on the corner. Oye, oye. What is the correct present tense conjugation of será for the pronouns eles, eles, vocêm? Sodom. In Brazilian culture, they play a crucial role as they are responsible for shaping consumer perceptions and influencing purchasing decisions through creative advertising campaigns. Publicitários. Publicitários. And I didn't conjugate that right, so. What is the third person singular ele, ela, você, a gente form of será in the simple past tense? Será. Ele, or ele, ela, você, a gente. Será. One might typically use the word in situations such as when discussing physical exercise, e.g. during a workout, when describing feelings of feeling hot or uncomfortable due to high temperature, e.g. on a hot day. Suor. Literal example, I'm going to take water. Eu tomar água. Eu vou tomar água. On the left side of. Do lado esquerdo. Do lado esquerdo da. You would use it when describing something that is pink in color, such as clothing, flowers, or an object that has a pink hue. Cor de rosa. The word translates to gray in English. Cinza. There are different grays too. Cinza. Que tipo de roupas você usa para trabalhar? Quando eu trabalho, usava uniforme e botas. Estou aposentado agora, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. Eu vou tomar água. Eu vou tomar água. Going to work out at the gym. Eu vou malhar na academia. After I'm done with this, I'm going to do refine my workouts for karate class at night. Que tipos de roupas você usa para exercitar? Como treino karate, uso kimono de karate. e uma faixa preta. Translate to please leave me alone, which is a polite request. Por favor, me deixe em paz. Por favor, me deixe em paz. Que tipos de roupas você usa para trabalhar? Estou aposentado agora. Mas quando eu usaria uniforme e botas quando trabalhar. Para trabalhar. Estou aposentado agora, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. I'll be studying that one later, definitely. What is the first person singular you form of será in the simple past tense? Seré. Usarei. Que tipos de roupas você usa para trabalhar? Estou aposentado, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. To work. Oh, agora, forgot the agora. Estou aposentado agora, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. In informal context, it typically refers to casual wishes or preferences, like wanting a specific food or activity. In formal context, it may encompass deeper intentions or motivations behind actions, such as expressing one's will in a legal document or formal speech. Despite the context, the core meaning of desire remains central. Vontade. Que tipo de roupas você usa para trabalhar? Estou aposentado agora, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. The term is often used in everyday conversations to express wishes or desires. Vontade. What is the first person singular form of tomar in the simple past tense? Tomé. You tomé. How do you conjugate será for the first person plural nós in the simple past tense? Tomamos. Tomares. Tomamos. Nós. Nós. Why am I thinking tomar? Nós seramos. Não mais quero fazer. Olha, tem uma academia aqui na esquina. How do you conjugate será for the first person plural in the simple past tense? Seramos. Nós seramos. What is the correct present tense conjugation of será for the pronouns eles, você, serão? Eles. Eles, vocês, serão. In Brazilian culture, they play a crucial role as they are responsible for shaping consumer perceptions and influencing purchase decisions through creative advertising campaigns. Publicitários. How did I misspell that? Oh, I put an I. Publicitários. What is the third person singular ele, ela, vocês, a gente for será in the simple past tense? Serão. Ele. Ela. Você. A gente. Serão. You would use it when describing something that is pink in color, such as clothing, flowers, or any object that has a pink hue. Corjehosa. Corjehosa. Literal meaning, I am going to take water. Eu vou tomar água. Eu vou tomar água. Que tipo de roupas você usa para trabalhar? Estou aposentado agora, mas usaria uniforme e botas para trabalhar. How do you conjugate será for the first person plural nós in the simple past tense? Nós seramos. In Brazilian culture, they play a crucial role as they are responsible for shaping consumer perceptions and influencing purchasing decisions through creative advertising campaigns. Publicitários. Publicitários. Cool. All done for now, and then I'll do some more later. Yes, I do. I have to mess with Occupy Democrats. They're probably the biggest liars on the internet, and they've been doing it a while. But keep a web page going for a while. So I share my books on the Loony Left on their page. It's great when you write books because you don't have to argue with these fools. You just post your books. Arguments in there. Might actually have to do a book on I have the information saved on my computer about their payments from Russia, and yeah, figure out how that works. If you're, let me explain something. The fact that you gobble cock doesn't mean you get less rights. You have the same rights everybody else does. Well, what if somebody won't hire me because how would they know you're gay? What, do you go around telling them you gobble cock? See, and that's the problem with their argument. They're grooming kids. And they prove it every time they say something like, well, what if they won't hire me because I'm gay? Well, how do they know you're gay? You could be an effeminate male. We may think you're gay, but we shouldn't know. It's not our place to know if you're working. So you have the same rights everyone else does to shut the fuck up while you're at work and just do your job. That would help. Yeah. So, yes, I just love messing with Occupy Democrats. What a bunch of losers. This is literally the stupidity of gun control. A wolf attacks a sheep. The sheep dies. Other sheep observe the killing and notice that teeth kill sheep. The sheep remove their own teeth for their own safety. That's gun control.
Who is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man mistakenly deported from the US? He was born in El Salvador and moved to the United States in his teens, entering the country illegally as a minor. In 2019, an immigration judge granted Abrego Garcia protection against deportation due to threats of violence if he were to return. Then, in March 2025, Abrego Garcia was arrested and sent to a prison in El Salvador without being charged with a crime in either country. The Supreme Court ruled that his deportation was illegal and that he should be returned to the United States. However, so far, both the Trump administration and the Salvadoran president haven't complied with the court's order. Who is Kilmar
Hold on, let me do that again because I forgot to turn the mic on. This Kilmar Oreo Abrega Garcia is an MS-13 gang member by two judges, and the tattoo on his hand that his wife kept covering up in pictures because, well, don't want to know he's actually a gang member. 1. 2, he's an illegal alien. So he's home. Now, if he can prove he's not a member of MS-13, they probably should let him out of prison. But at this point, after hearing his name so many times, and knowing that he is an MS-13, I hope they shank him in frickin' prison so I stop hearing about him. He's an illegal alien. Ship his wife's ass to El Salvador with him, along with his fucking parents, who brought him here illegally, so they're probably illegal too. Ship them all back home. I live in Brazil. Do you know what they do to you in Brazil if you come here illegally? They kick you the fuck out. And you know what they'll do? They'll fine you to pay for kicking you the fuck out. So all y'all sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, because you don't know shit, and mind your own fucking business, because this has nothing to do with a guy named Garcia. This has to do with a guy named Donald J. Trump. That dude, Garcia, could kill 30 frickin' people, and you leftists wouldn't care, because Donald Trump was the one who deported him. He could have cut people up with a chainsaw. Oh my God, he's an illegal alien. We need to get him back. Maybe if you worried about Americans as much as you do gang members and illegals, the country wouldn't be the shithole it is. Here comes the news media to try and, spin
Kilmar
this.
Abrego Garcia in Maryland. He's in a prison now in El Salvador. He was sent there. You insist, the president, everybody in the administration insists that he is MS-13. It appears that there's not going to be any sort of trial. He's not going to come back. DHS
He's
said
had
he would
2
be arrested
trials.
and redeported if he comes back.
Or been in front of 2
Why not show
judges.
the American people the evidence that he's MS-13 so they can make an informed decision? And that goes the same with this Henry Josue Santos, who was picked up in Virginia, who is now presumably going to be deported as well. Why not show the public the evidence?
Well, he is an illegal alien who has been living illegally in our country from El Salvador. ICE testified, an immigration judge ruled he was a member of MS-13, an appellate judge ruled he was a member of MS-13. Hard stop. He should not be in our country. He was deported. They needed one additional step in paperwork, but now MS-13 is characterized as they should be, as an FTO, as a foreign terrorist organization. So he is not coming back to our country. President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. He would have come back, had one extra step of paperwork, and gone back again. But he's from El Salvador, he's in El Salvador, and that's where the president plans on keeping him.
I like her. She just says the truth. Don't want to get deported? Don't be illegal. Simple stuff, you frickin' morons. He is not a man from Maryland. He's a man from El Salvador. Guess where he is now? In El Salvador. Shocking. Like I said, at this point, I hope they shank him in prison so I never have to hear his frickin' name again. Send his parents with him so they can bury him. Yes, this is the loony left. Supposedly that's just an openly Nazi, I guess. Also, this is the loony left. This is why I basically call them loony. Yeah, a loony leftist is protesting in front of some Trump supporters. Only you idiots would do that shit. And then I posted, what comes to mind when someone tells me they're anti-fascist in 2025? Brainwashed. They wouldn't, by the way, even if there were Nazis, these idiots wouldn't know what one looks like because they are the Nazis. Did I tell you that X is back on in Brazil? I don't know what they did. Don't ask. But I have X now, so I'm over on there now too. I have to play this for you. Someone just sent it to me through InstaFace chat. This is freaking hilarious.
So, before we go any further...
Hey, Donald, can I read you a bedtime story?
What the fuck do you mean a bedtime story, nigga?
Just like the old days when I would tuck you in and give you smooches before bed.
Look, I don't know what the fuck prescriptions they gave you. Like a retard seeing fucking candy and rainbows everywhere? Jesus
Donald,
Christ, you're fucking retarded. So, before we go any further...
Hey, Donald, can I read you a bedtime story?
What the fuck do you mean a bedtime story, nigga?
Just like the old days when I would tuck you in and give you smooches before bed.
Look, I don't know what the fuck prescriptions they gave you. Like a retard seeing fucking candy and rainbows everywhere? Jesus
Donald,
Christ, you're fucking retarded. So,
If you aren't laughing at that, you're a loony leftist.
For that brown sugar. Let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something, brown sugar. The night that I get my $100 grand back, I'm gonna have a big old limousine there, you know what I mean? And if you want a real man, you know what I'm talking about, Texas size, if you will. The dusty roads of American dream just might take some time for that brown sugar.
What's wrong?
Daddy gonna do that.
What?
Daddy gonna do crack.
He what?
Bastard.
Are you serious? Daddy!
It would appear a New Mexico judge had his house raided by ICE, and he was harboring a Trinidad something Aragua terrorist. But I guess they arrested the wife. She's in ICE custody right now. Good for them. People are confused why they arrested the judge's wife. It's illegal to harbor an illegal alien under Title 8 United States Code. So yes, you can be arrested. It's also illegal to hire them. So you people complaining about, not having people to pick your, start hiring Americans. We do have a workfare program for welfare recipients, so there you go. Some of you fat fucks that are on welfare could probably use a little up and down for, picking cabbage and lettuce and shit. Don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for fat Americans. Weird.
Excuse me, you cannot impede me from my lawful duties. That is a crime. Do you understand? Do not touch me or impede me in my lawful duties, ma'am. Do you understand? It is a crime for you to do so.
Why? Do you have a warrant
Senor,
for this arrest? Do you have a warrant for his arrest?
Yes.
Where?
Hey,
Warrant.
grab him.
Warrant for his arrest. Warrant signed by a
Get off me,
judge.
or I am calling the U.S. attorney and prosecuting you
Okay.
for assault on a federal officer.
Show us the warrant
Back
for his
up.
arrest. Show us a warrant signed by a judge.
Turn him around.
You don't have a warrant.
Sir.
Show us a warrant for his arrest.
We are officers with Homeland Security.
You don't have a warrant signed by a judge.
All right, Señor Dominguez. No se preocupe.
You don't have to. You,
No necesitas decirle nada, no necesitas decirle nada sin abogado. No firme nada sin abogado.
Everybody ready? Yep. Let's go out, please. Vámonos, señor, por favor, síganme.
I just thought of a way that the loony left can help me out as an immigrant. Get in touch with the Brazilian government. I don't know if you need to get in touch with the American government, but I didn't pay the American government anything. The Brazilian government, and tell them they have to give me back all the money I spent to become a legal immigrant in Brazil. If you're going to allow illegals into America, I should not have to pay to come to Brazil. I just had that Officer Tatum put up a poll on YouTube. It says, have Trump's tariffs affected you in any way? Most people below said no, but I posted, well, yeah, having to listen to the loony left drone on and on about them. So yes, they have affected me. They've increased the level of stupid I see every day on the internet. I just saw a post on Facebook that said, if Marines eat crayons, what do the other branches eat? I got really specific. I said, Army Infantry, vajayjay. Just upsetting the loony left on gun control by reminding them that people like them are actually what the Second Amendment was written about. People that want to tell you what you can and can't own. Life, liberty, and property. Those are the basic rights that are written about. I have a book out on it. I was just being lectured about gun control by a Brit. So I figured I'd show this little tidbit, to show you how they're controlling violence, or how they control things without guns. Insha'Allah. Who doesn't love themselves some jalapeno cheese? Hey, rocket scientists, we did learn about it. That's why I don't vote Democrat. It's always telling when they make it so you can't comment. That means they know their argument isn't really that strong. Welcome to my world. When someone says they don't like me, ouch, you hit me right where I don't give a fuck.
I know what to do. Bone Bear, can I ask you a big favor? Hi, little Bone Bear. Bone Ball, over by the ferry, has been being really rude. And I was wondering if you might tonight come on by and maybe just eat Bone Ball. Just eat him. Her. Sorry, I don't remember. What are Bone Ball's pronouns? I know mine. What are your...
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
Another leftist who couldn't hang with me, so he took his comment or blocked me from commenting on his stuff anymore. If you can't hang, don't put it up in the first place. Sorry, I forgot where I was on the scale on my, yes, another leftist who couldn't hang. Let me explain something, folks. If you can't hang, don't comment. Don't put stuff up. I'm going to destroy you. I woke up smarter than you this morning. I'm going to go to bed smarter than you this morning because I didn't vote for Sniffy Joe. That already puts me IQ points above you. I have an idea for these people. When the police, the cop who has an M4 in his car gives that up, which is a full automatic weapon, I'd say people should give up their semi-automatics. Because if he doesn't need his, you won't need yours. He's not going to give up his, so you're not going to give up yours. Another thing you could do, get all you gun control nuts, can get your fat asses on a bus, right? And go to every Native American reservation, right? And you ask them to give up their guns. Because on a reservation, federal gun laws don't apply. They may have local laws, but tell them that if they give up their guns, the government will take care of them. The government will protect them. If they're willing to give up their firearms because the government's going to protect them, then we can talk. Until then, good luck. The power keeps going out, so I'm not even sure I'll be able to upload this today or premiere it today.
Lights flash, cameras clicking quick. Showtime, super Gringo slick. Headlines buzzing like a mix. 20 seconds, that's the fix. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shorts, that's where we are. Just like a dart, Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shorts, that's where we brought.